Alright, thought that might happen. Got all this set up just for my phone to die. Well, not die, run out of space. So I deleted a bunch of stuff so I can continue painting, recording, prepping this canvas. Just completely deleted the last video because it really wasn't that long. So what I'm doing in this video is prepping the canvas, and another big one, plan on just doing something abstract on it. I haven't really played in the abstract space yet, slightly out of fear and like for some reason this weird belief that I can't do it. So facing that fear with this giant canvas, I'm going for it. And if you enjoy watching me do this, even on like shorts, if you could subscribe and like, if you're into this type of stuff, if you're into watching it, that would help me reach more people who could be potentially into the same kind of videos. Also, it would help me reach a space where I could start supporting this financially by monetizing the platform. Right now I make no money doing this, but I think it's fun, so it's kind of worth it whether or not I make money or not. I feel like videoing felt super uncomfortable, and it's already starting to feel more comfortable to do, but I've noticed that I kind of enjoy doing it. There's something about, it's like the video is holding me accountable to show up and do the creative work that I felt the inspiration leading me towards. So, in some ways I'm glad that I've tested the waters in the YouTuber life. So yeah, subscribe, like, do the comments, say something sweet. Flip this over so I don't have to like break my back open. Let's work on it like that. And let's go left-handed. So yeah, if you don't know anything about gessoing or prepping a canvas, it's raw canvas. This gesso is white gesso primer. Oh yeah, acrylic mediums. This one is like thick. I've used ones that are way thinner, but it's not too thick. It's like this nice in between of like really thick and thin. So I don't know. I thought it would say something more about it. It just says gesso weave, white gesso, vit gesso. It's all the different languages. I might say something about the thickness. Anyways, this is the Windsor Knitting, which I turned to think is pretty good quality. At least I've used it on a few paintings. Also I've used other brands, but like, to be honest, besides like thicknesses, I haven't really noticed. Like I tried the golden one too, it's like more expensive. But I don't necessarily see a difference between this one and the golden one. If you have any knowledge of that, I would love to hear. If it's like a mistake to use Windsor for some reason, like let me know. If I should be using like some other one that I don't know of, hit me up in those comments. I want to know. I'm also down to like try other things. I'm super precious about the process, which is why I'm trying to break the habit and the belief of like that this abstract world is not for me. I've also prepped some other canvases. Well, I've used, how do I want to describe this? Using like leftover raw canvas, I've like sewn together what will be a bigger canvas. Let's see, do I have? I have an example of what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This, I also want to do like abstract based off of these. So I've like taken scraps, like this is a scrap. It's kind of like a worthless piece if it's alone, but I've like sewn them together into being this. So you have all these like different seams going places, which is interesting, which I feel like would be a fun abstract piece. The next step with this would be like to build out the stretcher bars. So maybe I'll do that today. I'll cut some stretcher bars today. I cut my stretcher bars with using a 2x4. Honestly, a 2x4 is like super thick. So I like ran it down a table saw to like split it down the middle. And hit it with a miter saw to give it some 45-degree angles to make a good square. And then I just like wood glue it together. The wood glue like sets overnight. And it sets pretty strong. There's only been a couple times where like I just didn't use enough wood glue, I think. So like when I went to move the frame in the morning, it like pulled apart at the seams. But other than that, once I've like glued it, I've never had any other issues. Once I've used like enough glue. I think the next thing I'd like to do in like building out stronger connections is like get one of those things that like cuts a groove. Kind of like what you would buy a real stretcher bar from an art store has. They have those grooves that like lock in. I'd like whatever tool that is to be added to my artillery in canvas creation. Because I like to build anything myself. I think it's fun. But for now, wood glue and just the smooth angle holds really well, and then I like stretch the canvas over it. And now we're at this step where we gesso it. And gessoing, we typically do like 2 to 3 coats because it's dry, and then there will be like light spots. It's hard to see on the video, but there are some spots that are thicker than others. So it's good to just like put a couple coats so the paint doesn't like bleed through the back of the canvas. Which like short term probably is not that big a deal. Long term, I don't know, maybe like the oils or something would eat away at the canvas or something like that. I don't know. But also like it's about this light bounces light. And it's probably has something more to do with about light bouncing than it does creating a safe surface for oil paints. I don't know. At this point, I'm kind of just like guessing. I don't know. Loosely based off of what I've been told in the past. The only painting class I ever took was at Fresno City College at this branch called Willowwood International. And I was like fresh out of high school, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and one of my parents' like greatest advice was always to have like an art class with whatever studies I had going on, even all through like high school, which was like very supportive. And I don't think they realized how valuable that was for me, but maybe they did. Maybe that's why they suggested it. Maybe they just knew that I was going to need that in my life. But it did give that balance that I needed. Anyways, fell into painting. I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'm going to let it dry. Fell into painting because I always had the longing to do it, like really wanted to do it, but never could get myself to do it. I couldn't like communicate what I wanted. So I put it off for a really long time until about freshman year of college, and it ended up essentially curing my depression that I was in. I never sought help for depression, which was a huge, dangerous moment in my life, but through prayer and letting God guide me into art, I think my life has been saved for sure. Because obviously I'm still here, y'all. Which is great. It's a beautiful thing about art. I think here. I'm trying to get to this photo over here. And I've been using this brush. But maybe, let's give it a try. I gotta work on this brother's legs today. Their hair looking awfully pale in the leg world. I need to put down some more white. And since let's go for one day, this stuff is like already dry. At least like the thin areas, I mean. Not that thick areas. It's kind of what's nice about oils is that it stays wet for a very long time. So when you've got like other things going on in life, you can set it down, walk away, come back to it a day later, and it's still decently workable. Where's my white at? Here. Anyways, was that all I wanted to say about learning how to paint? Didn't go to like proper art school for painting. It was just enough to push me over the edge into it. And I feel like at the time I was like, oh, there is no making money in art, not like painting. And that's, I think, a lie that I let myself believe. I think there is money to be made and a career to be had in it, which is why now I'm choosing to pursue that in any way that I can. And right now the calling feels like it's leading me towards like videoing myself paint and just chit-chat my way through it. Oh yeah, that's much better color, dude. Look at them legs. I'm gonna have to get some. This one's kind of coming up this way. He's got socks on. It's still like up in the air if I leave his silly little socks on in this photo. But it is kind of silly. So like part of that makes me want to leave it because it is so uniquely this moment. And I've already changed like a lot of like the surrounding area of this painting, that like to change something about the person feels like it's going too far. And I think my responsibility is to preserve who the person is in the painting as well as the dog. That is the reason for everything. The reason for everything is you and your dog. Okay, it's got like a little bit of a hand thing happening here. So it's coming in on his hands. He's like gripping his two fingers here. Then he's got his other two fingers dangling. I wonder if I need a smaller brush for that. Let me get up in here on this other hand. So coming in. Where is it? It's here. It's got like this nice highlight in his muscle. This dude's jacked. Way more jacked than I am. Got a nice highlight from the sun happening on his shoulder. Look at that. Boom. It's banging. Dude's jacked. Think of that. Look at that damn muscles, son. Look at ripped. Look at swole. I don't know about you, but I feel like things are really starting to take shape all of a sudden. Now, he's got to have some little bit of more color in them legs. Let's help him out here. Just grab like the miniest amount of red. Put some blood in his legs. Here we go. Let's help him out on these edges here. I don't know what that looks like on camera. I think I could go a little bit harder on it. A little bit harder. Not too much. Just enough to get a little bit of contrast in here. This brother might wear a lot of pants, judging by the difference in color from top to bottoms. That's pretty nice. Now, his face. What's happening with his face? Got a nose happening here that's slightly wider, kind of like the legs. It's like moment. This dude like must have just gotten back from a workout. It's got that like post-workout look to him. I think that was too much. That's what you call too much. Back it off a bit. Back it off just a little bit. I need to like hit maybe even his chin cheek area. Okay, it's getting there. Back down here in the water. Down here in the water, I need to help out his shoulder a bit down here in the water. Think about reflections too. His head shape in here with his arm. Then I'm gonna run into. I wonder if I placed this guy a little too high, or he just needs to come down a little bit because there's almost like a cutoff happening here. His arm is supposed to just kind of go into it. But a little bit, at least in my worries, I feel like maybe his hand here's got to get something, and then his forearm here. Okay, now let's work on bringing back his face. Let's just do a dab of blue to bring in the shadow. Okay, that's too much. Let's back it off. When I'm looking green or purple, it's got to be like this happy little medium, happy in between. I don't know if this is annoying. Should I like be showing how I'm mixing?
I feel like we're gonna have to like maybe touch his face a few times here. Put it in like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There we go. Oh.
And then what's happening? Like look closely. I align myself to like really look closely. I really understand what's happening here because his eye has like this shadow here. And his nose, his forehead, his cheek. It's all gotta like come into play there. Now it's gonna darken up over here too. Right under his, right there. Now he's like laying on a blue towel, which is like getting in there, which is fine. Hands though have a dark moment in the fingers. I need to find that moment here. Little extra fingers here. Fingers are like very difficult to see. We have to work on tying those in a little bit because they kind of like come down, but then there's like this part in them. I gotta hit the part. And then underneath, I gotta be able to see underneath through them. Do any other smaller brushes? Weensty. Set this one down here. I should probably put this in some water. BRB.